Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, and today we have lots of interesting news to go over because Treyarch has announced a roadmap for Black Ops Cold War, and they even gave us some, but not all, information about how leveling is going to work within this year's game. Let's kick things off here by talking about the roadmap itself. As you guys can see, the biggest Black Ops year begins, as it says, and this is what we're basically going to be getting in Season 1. Season 1 is going to begin on December 10th, and we're going to be getting new multiplayer maps and game modes. Keep in mind, this is going to be just like with how we saw things back in Modern Warfare, in that the maps and modes are going to be coming out for all platforms at the same time for free, which is awesome. 2v2 gunfight is returning. I think that's really interesting. Just the other day, actually, I was talking about that. I like gunfight in Modern Warfare. That's one of the few things I like about the game. It's an interesting way to play. It's a very cool mode for like chilling out with a couple of friends and just, you know, playing the game. And gunfight is going to be returning in Season 1. That's going to be cool, but I'm also a bit concerned about that because just like with everything else, I suppose, in Black Ops Cold War, the way that they're kind of dividing all of their development time across, like, you know, ground war for, like, 20 on 20, and you have your ground war maps, and you have your 6v6 maps. Now we have these 2v2 maps they're going to be having. So I'm worried that 6v6 content is going to suffer in this year's game. Hopefully we have, like, 16 base maps at launch. We have no idea what it's going to be, but hopefully 6v6 does not suffer with Treyarch putting all their development into all these different game modes that require different kinds of maps. And speaking of maps, on November 24th, which of course is going to be 11 days after the game comes out, Nuketown 84 is going to release, and it wouldn't be a Treyarch game without Nuketown. We all knew Nuketown was going to be coming, but how they're going to be doing this actually looks insane. So I'll make the image a bit bigger for you guys. What this appears to be is it's the original Nuketown, but several years later. Nuketown itself was a nuclear test site that was designed in the 1960s and was supposed to look like a 1950s suburb, right? So it was made in the 60s. This map is set in 84, and looking at it, it basically looks like this is going to be the original Nuketown, but it was abandoned, right? Picture Nuketown, but it's been abandoned for over a decade, and this is what it looks like. I mean, you can see on the bus right here, the rust from the bus sitting out in the sun for years and years and years, and you have taggers that showed up and started to graffiti everything, and you see like random bits of debris. Some of the buildings may actually be dilapidated. This is really cool. This is what I feel like they should always do when it comes to bringing back older maps. I talked about it a bunch of times back in Black Ops 4, but remember Summit, firing range, jungle, so on and so forth? Black Ops 4 canonically is set between the events of Black Ops 2 and Black Ops 3, right? So it's well into the future compared to the events of the 1960s that we saw in Black Ops 1, yet Summit looked exactly the same. It would have been so much cooler if Summit got redesigned, like the facility got taken over by a different group and they changed aesthetically what the map looked like without actually changing its layout. That would have been cool. Or we go back to Cuba to the firing range and have firing range basically look like Nuketown is going to look like in this year's game by making it all old and dilapidated, like it's been abandoned for, 30, 40 years. That would have been neat. It actually gives some continuity to the multiplayer maps and tell a bit of a story with environmental storytelling, but they never really did that for some reason. Well, they're doing it with Nuketown this year, which looks freaking awesome. Going back to the roadmap here for a second, we're going to have new zombies game modes. We're going to have much more. There's going to be a classified Warzone experience, which, by the way, guys, I can't show it because, leaks, Activision and stuff. They talk about Rebirth Island, and basically what this appears to be is it's going to be like a Warzone version of Alcatraz, but it's going to look more like a Russian port. The images have actually been leaked a long time ago, so it's basically going to be like an Alcatraz feel for Warzone, which is interesting. And then, of course, we have new weapons. Now, I want to actually show this to you guys. This was in the official blog post that was put out by Treyarch. As you guys can see, the Battle Pass is indeed going to exist in this year's game, and we can see a number of things here. Like, we see is that an MP5? I'm not entirely sure, but we're going to have weapon variants, we're going to have double XP, we're going to have operators and things like that. It's basically going to be the exact same system that we saw in Modern Warfare, but it's going to be carried over into Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. Now, with the roadmap out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about this new leveling system, because, guys, it is genuinely confusing, but they did say that tomorrow they're going to dive even deeper into how prestiging is going to work, because, ladies and gentlemen, Prestige mode is coming to this year's game, but it's going to be different, and it's kind of weird. So here's how it's going to work, right? Initially, in Black Ops Cold War, we're going to have ranks 1 through 55, which is what we actually saw in the alpha and in the beta. Cool, that's going to be a thing. Well, after that, apparently, prestiging is going to be a thing, but it's going to be a seasonal prestige system. In fact, let's just go to the blog post here and I'll read it out to you guys. Your seasonal officer progression is now known as season levels, which incorporates a seasonal prestige leveling system. These are fully synchronized between all 3 games. If you guys don't know, once this actually happens, once Season 1 goes live for Black Ops Cold War, your rank within Cold War is going to be synced up to not only Warzone, but also Modern Warfare 2019. I know, that's confusing, it's a little bit weird, but the thing I'm most concerned about is this idea of a seasonal prestige system, because a seasonal prestige system implies that it's only going to be available for a very limited time, and it also implies that there's going to be an end at some point to your seasonal prestige system. So during Season 1, can you just prestige as much as you can, all the way up to Master Prestige, and then, what, the season ends and it all goes away? I really don't know. Let's go back and read a little bit more of this. As you begin season leveling, expect an updated interface to this leveling system. Seasonal progression has been updated with aspects of the traditional prestige system, allowing players to unlock and use rewards, including some incredibly cool legacy player identity items from the world of Black Ops. So that sounds pretty cool. It sounds like you're actually going to get things for prestiging, but again, it's a seasonal prestige system. Are they going to wipe us? Like, I don't know how that works. Leveling in Black Ops Cold War, Warzone, or Modern Warfare all count toward your season leveling and prestige level. The preferred way to prestige is by playing Black Ops Cold War, thanks to challenges focused on Black Ops Cold War gameplay, XP events, and other advantages planned throughout the seasons. Remember that a large portion of this content is earnable or simply free just by playing 1 or all 3 games. Get the full deep dive in the Black Ops Cold War prestige system, including details on seasonal prestige levels, prestige master requirements, season challenges, and more tomorrow on November 6th at the Treyarch blog. So tomorrow they're going to explain this a lot more in depth. It sounds confusing. It sounds good. Don't get me wrong. It sounds good. I mean, I'm happy that Prestiges are returning. Apparently, Prestige Master is going to be there. They're going to be adding seasonal challenges. I've talked about this a number of times in the channel, especially in regards to Modern Warfare 2019. I think that seasonal ranks and seasonal challenges and officer challenges and stuff like that, that can work. That can work within normal Call of Duty games. But the problem with it is they capped our progress off at level 155, and that felt really bad. People like grinding the game, right? They want a bunch of challenges to do. They want a bunch of ranks to go through. Some people don't like it, and I get that. But at the same time, it's weird because these people that for some reason don't like prestige mode, they want it gone from the Call of Duty franchise, they make no sense to me because if you don't like it, just don't prestige. Like, it's that simple. Like, why should every player in the entire community be capped at level 155 just because you don't like prestiging? It doesn't make any sense. It seems like the vast majority of players like to prestige, and it looks like it is going to be coming back, but the question is, how exactly is this going to work? I mean, it's going to be going all across Zombies, multiplayer, and Warzone. And then, of course, Modern Warfare 2019 is also going to be tied to this, so you're going to have this unified level/prestige system, and you can earn XP towards your ranks by playing Modern Warfare 2019, Warzone, Black Ops Cold War multiplayer, or even Black Ops Cold War Zombies. I mean, that sounds really good, but also sounds very ambitious, and I'm wondering, like, how exactly is all this going to work out? Now, one extra note here I'd like to give you guys is Warzone. I don't want to talk too much about Warzone because I'm not really a Warzone channel, but it does appear that, yes, when we do play Warzone, once Black Ops Cold War comes out, we are going to be able to pick the weapons that we want from each game, right? So, for example, what they showed us here was there are 2 versions of the AK-47 that are going to be available in Warzone, and yeah, you can just pick whichever version of the AK-47 you want. You can use the Modern Warfare version or use the Cold War version. It's going to be interesting to see how the balancing is going to work there, right? I mean, one AK presumably is going to be better than the other one, you would think, and I think they're also going to be scaling back the time to kill from Cold War into Warzone to make it feel like more like Modern Warfare 2019. I don't really know. It's pretty damn confusing, but overall, guys, great news today so far. Prestige mode is back. Prestige Master is going to be back. We just don't know how exactly that's going to work. They're going to be doing cross progression across Warzone, Modern Warfare, and Cold War, which I also think is pretty cool. And we already have a roadmap for Season 1, which is going to be adding a lot of very good things in the Black Ops Cold War. But man, I gotta tell you, this is all pretty damn ambitious, and I'm worried that somehow it's not all going to work out. And one final thing here, going back to the roadmap, I mean, checking out the thing that says more multiplayer maps and modes, check out that map in the background of woods. I mean, the game mode itself, I mean, he's carrying a briefcase and has a pistol. I don't really know what that is. But the map itself, it's like a food court in a mall in the 80s. That's awesome. We were just talking about this the other day, but they did so many cool things with the DLC maps in like Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 4, and I'm really hoping that they do the same thing with Black Ops Cold War. Like, it's cool to have some maps like set in like the jungles of Vietnam, or set the map in Havana and like these actual locations and stuff, but let's have some fun maps as well. And it looks like we're going to be getting that because we're going to be playing in a freaking mall, for crying out loud. That's definitely pretty cool. But ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. There is the video for today. I will make another video tomorrow breaking down, hopefully, the good news surrounding how they're going to be handling this seasonal prestige system within Black Ops Cold War. I hope you guys all enjoyed today's video. If you did, consider leaving a like. Thank you all so much for listening, and I hope you guys all have a wonderful day.